Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Okay, time out. You're gonna let your budget be the boss of you? Take control with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay for car insurance, and we'll help you find options that fit your budget. Here's some music to get you pumped. Da-dong, 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 dang, dang. I hear your budget laughing at you. Oh, wait, that's just those kids laughing at me. Ignore them! Da-dong, da-dong,
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, folks. How you doing? It's the Danny Tisdale Show, and I thank you for being here for another show. Check that off our box there. I hope you're doing great on this wonderful, beautiful day, and I hope it's that way wherever you may be listening, whether you are in another country, whether you're in the United States, or in your car going somewhere, or just at a little cafe in Harlem somewhere, or wherever you may be. But I hope you're doing well. We've got a nice, like a little powerhouse show regarding fashion and talking about fashion, the trends, the people, all those good wonderful things that we always love. We're going to shorten our intro this time so that we can talk to our guests. So, as always, don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, on Twitter, should I say, at twitter.com/HWMag. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/HWMag. And even better, go to Facebook and hit us up at facebook.com Harlem World Magazine and check out all the posts that we're posting on the website, and our website is harlemworldmag.com. Without further ado, we are speaking today to Kass. She is an educator, she's a fashion writer, and been writing a column for us for a number of years, and we are going to talk all about the ins and out of fashions in and out of Harlem. Hey, Kass, how are you doing?
Hey, Danny, I am well. Hope everybody out there
good.
listening is well as well.
I have my ear to the microphone. I think everybody said they're doing good, so that's a good thing. And it's February. It's one of my favorite times of the month, and it's fashion for February, and of course it's Fashion Week, and I guess it's coming around the corner, right? When is Fashion Week?
Fashion Week kicks off on Monday. It generally runs for about 2 weeks, and there'll be a number of shows around New York City featuring, several of the designers that we know and love. There'll be a number of designers actually not participating in the traditional Fashion Week, but actually doing customized showings and collection displays, in different ways. Everybody wasn't interested in participating in break production this year, so it's going to be interesting.
Why is that? Is that a budgetary thing, or they're just focused on their clothing and putting the money into their designs? Why the change this year?
Alexander Wang probably kind of kicked off this precedent of he's decided he won't be showing in the traditional collection period.
I heard that.
And there just have been other designers that, have decided to do things like Rag & Bone decided to do a dance film. There are others that are showing their collections at private mansions. There are others that are doing them on the beach. Really, I guess, more so wanting to focus less on the hoopla and more on the artistic design.
Right. And it sounds like it's almost they're almost doing fashion experiences to a certain degree. At least that's what it sounds like at first blush for me, on the beach. And that's pretty exclusive, though. I mean, not everybody's going to get that ticket, right? Or not true?
Absolutely.
Or do we know?
No, not everybody is going to get the ticket, but the idea is not so much just to show to mass amounts of people, but to a small concentrated audience, in a live create that experience.
I see. Boy, exclusive. But I guess that's the way it is. I mean, because we are talking about a lot of money and a lot at stake. How does that apply to what happens in New York, and then drill down even further when you look at Harlem. And I know that, God, the names just fail me now because I'm thinking of Dapper Dan and the Gucci collection. Are they doing anything for Fashion Week this time? Do we know? Or
not that I know of at this time. Not that I know of.
Yeah, because I know they opened a new store, but I haven't heard anything for Fashion Week.
Neither have I, but I will definitely keep my ear to the street. You definitely will.
Yeah, because I just for our listeners to know is that I think you've probably been doing this with Harlem World, your column, for a number of years, and it always seems like, nothing's going on, and then the week before or the week of, we get all these announcements for events and shows, and then it's hard to keep up. So, because I know that you're bi-coastal jet setter, so it's even harder to keep up with your schedule. So what's going on with the trends these days, Kass? Or is there anything to look out for or that's happening?
I mean, with women's wear, we are definitely seeing a very sexy approach to apparel, whether it be traditional designs, sportswear designs, casual chic. Designers like Jason Wu have taken sportswear and given it asymmetrical cuts, cut on the bias, some cutouts in the waist area, that kind of make it sexy but comfortable all at the same time. Frowens and Schuler doing the same thing. The brand Off-White, known for their sportswear bombers, are not only making a more affordable line, but also playing around with a little sexy in their collection as well. So, you really...
That's probably a pretty good formula, though, right? That kind of
I think it's
sexy
an amazing
but not
formula.
sexy but casual, yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's an amazing formula. I think, the color of the year is ultraviolet, the Pantone color of the year, and, that is a robust lavender with, you can tell with a deep purple base, and that color in itself is kind of communicates it being mysterious. You have a little bit of edgy, experimental, it's non-conformental, so it's almost like, fashion for 2018 is going to live outside the box. We're going to see things a little bit different. Christopher Kane, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he, in his Fall 18 collection, has this black blazer that has a built-in jeweled, what I call curtain skirt, because it basically is like Swarovski crystals, hanging from the skirt, so it's see-through. And it's just, and then it, kind of has the same design on the lapel, and it's like super sexy. And you got to be real confident and willing to live out the box.
Right.
It's cool though.
So I'm I always like to send you the questions ahead of time, and I know this is probably a question that we could have a whole show on. But when you talk about sexy, and obviously we're talking about women's wear, obviously you're a woman, does what's happening in the media affect fashion? When we, hear what's happening, with abuse issues and other issues like that, does that affect fashion at all, or is it just something like everything else that happens, but it doesn't affect an industry? Sometimes it does, I guess.
I absolutely do think that it affects fashion. We're talking about the social zeitgeist. The zeitgeist is something that affects fashion not only from a social perspective, but a political perspective, a cultural perspective. So, yeah, absolutely. I don't think that designers, reacted in a way where, we now expose the mistreatment of women and some men.
Right.
So now we have to cover up. I think it's more of, we can take back our independence. We can take back the fact that we have to be subjected to being, abused and mistreated, and we can do it our way. And that's kind of what I'm seeing in a lot of the collections. People are just doing it their way, like I said, from presenting their collections, at a poolside versus being on the runways or at the Mercedes, Benz Fashion Week. It's doing it your way and claiming that independence. And that's more of what I'm seeing, yeah. So I definitely think it's affecting fashion, but not in a way that doesn't speak to flourishing when it comes to designs and individual designers being able to express themselves.
That's I think you brought up a very good point, because in a way it's, well, what I at least hear you saying is what's actually happening is that women are being empowered, and that doesn't just it includes the fashion world and what they do in their closets, I guess. I'm paraphrasing. Absolutely. And hopefully that's accurate.
Absolutely. I think, as someone who's, worked in corporate America and absolutely been subjected to inappropriate behavior by corporate executives, for me, it wasn't something that I internalized. It, was something that I was able to dismiss and not let affect me. But it also made me think twice about my dress choices and just kind of how I presented myself.
Right.
I made a decision early on in my career. I wanted to be taken seriously. And sometimes when you have low-cut clothing on or suggestive, provocative clothing, it for some people, they're not able to stay focused and professional. And so is that your fault? No, absolutely not. But I think we all just need to be responsible.
I think you're on point, and I don't. I do want to, of course, talk about what our topic is, but I think this is part of the topic also, because it involves, humans and the human body, and people tend to not respect their own space, but others' space at the same time. So I'm just going to shift gears a little bit, and I hope it's a comfortable shift. But are there any trends out there that, listeners can, take advantage of? And I know the economy is what it is, and I know H&M is having some issues there on 125th Street here. And we're all kind of being conscious of, sustainability and the environment. Are there any things out there, whether it involves what I just mentioned or not, that men and women can look out for that are trends that we love, and maybe trends that maybe not so hot?
I think, you're going to see, one of the things I love about fashion is when we have those periods of popularity of mixing, chic with cheap. You're definitely going to see a lot of high-end and, more mass audience designers mixed together. I don't really think it's about having a, $10,000 outfit on going to work. I think it's about finding amazing pieces that complement each other, that kind of fall within, the trends. We got a lot of floral prints. We also, like I said, have a lot of
purple. Didn't we used to call that ghetto fabulous?
There are some who do refer to it as such, yes. Yes, there are some.
GF, right? I do kind of remember that.
You will stick with
I'm not
GF,
old enough to remember that. I'm just talking about what I've heard. I'm a lot younger than that. So not that I've heard, myself. So
interesting. But yeah, I mean, you're funny.
She's interesting.
Outside of H&M, you also have a lot of designers, both high end and mass, that have lower end lines at places like Target and Walmart, and the stuff is actually really cool, and it's really cool to be able to mix a cool T-shirt from Walmart with your Rodarte blazer. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, and for 2 seconds I remember it was called Ghetto Fabulous, but I love that mixing and matching, and it works or it doesn't work, and I always feel that if you love it, and then that's all that matters. You're going to look good because you feel good. So it makes it all good. What's your take on that? Or do you think that I think I know what your answer is. But do you feel that you empower the clothes or the clothes empowers you?
Oh, I absolutely think that I empower the clothes. I mean, for myself. But I think in general when we talk about, consumer psychology and how people dress based upon maybe how they're feeling or what they're looking to communicate about their person, I think it could go either way, for people. I think if I'm dressed for a professional interview, then, the clothes are empowering me because it puts you in a different mind frame. You're moving, thinking, and acting
a little bit
like
more focused.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Versus
I know for me. Yeah, sorry, I hope I didn't cut you off, but I know for me that's what, clothes does for me is that if I know if I put on this gear, that I'm going to, feel my best. And of course, what do they say? If you feel your best, you look your best. And Kass, we're already at that midway point, and I just want our listeners to know that they're listening to Harlem World Radio, and it's the Danny Tisdale Show, and I'm Danny Tisdale, and we have a great guest today, and of course talking about fashion, and you're listening to Harlem World Magazine, the #1 magazine in the world for all things Harlem since 2003. Now back with Kass. Sorry about that, Kass, and just want to take a quick ID. And as we talk a little bit, I just wanted to kind of see where we are with our guest list here. And of course, Fashion Week starts on Monday. What will be going on as we look at what's happening in Harlem? I know that Harlem Fashion Week starts. Well, and, let me bring up another point, and it's one of those things that we always laugh about in Harlem because, Harlem Week in August is now a month. So now Fashion Week is 2 weeks. Is that right?
Okay. It's kind of traditionally been 2 weeks for a while. And it's not like the full 2 weeks, but you generally will have shows start a Sunday or Monday, run through that week to the next Sunday, and then maybe through that next Wednesday. And, it gives an opportunity because you usually have quite a few designers showing.
Yeah. I mean, we used to, you and I would go back and forth over, okay, we're finding out information at the last minute, and now we've got, because it was Fashion Week, almost 2 or 3 days left, and, you're outside of New York, doing your thing. So in a way, I kind of look forward to it because it gives us enough more time to check and see what the heck is going on out there in the fashion world. And there's usually tons of it going on. I mean, no matter where you are, there is, Fashion Week, and it's strong. So what's going on with Fashion Week in Harlem? I know we have Tandra Birkett and Jewnell, who are co-founders. Any inside dope going on that you can talk about?
Well, they're kicking off their show tomorrow, February 4th. They are kicking off the show at 7:30 with the Malcolm X Legacy Collection that sounds pretty hot. Last week. They have Amatula Designs, Nama Isi Ono, Martina Novato, Nishi Knitwear, and Anna Tico. They also have an emerging designer competition, which is super cool. I really, really love that about Harlem Fashion Week. They're not only big on celebrating, our fashion and the fashion they're in, but they're also really amazing about being a platform for prospective designers and emerging designers.
Right.
This year they will have, for the Couture featured, Sasha Hui, if I pronounced that correctly, Minnie Chevelle, Alex London, Chevalier Home, and Tamara. And so really excited to see who emerges as the winner of that competition. And then following that, they're going to have a 9:30 show with Beast Mode by Marshawn Lynch. You know, Marshawn is a...
Is that right?
Yeah, he's into a little bit of everything. They'll have Christy Plus U, New York, Rose Paulino, Styles of Imagination, and then Malcolm X Legacy again. So, this year they're...
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, and I know that there's a delay on the line here, but I just, somebody asked me, and I wanted to know, do you know what the Malcolm X Legacy clothes look like?
I've only seen a couple of the sportswear pieces from their actual line that they have out now. So I've not been a preview to any of the pieces that'll be presented tomorrow night. No. So I'm actually really, really excited about seeing what they have.
So I'm just going to say what somebody said to me. I'm not saying it. I'm just relaying the information, even though I've heard the saying that kill the messenger. But they wanted me to ask, are their clothes going to be clothes with pictures of Malcolm X's face on the clothes?
Well, from the pieces that I've seen, they've had quotes.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure if they're going to be featuring his likenesses.
Okay.
That would be a really good question for us to actually ask the Harlem Fashion Week team when they join us for the call.
Well, what amazing things you have, because let's see if we have someone on the line here from the collection. Hello, who's joining us?
How are you? My name is Tandra Birkett. I am the executive producer and co-owner of Harlem Fashion Week. Hi, how are you?
Hey, Tandra. How are you? Welcome.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, guys. How are you? It's Yvonne. I'm the creative director of Harlem Fashion Week.
Hey, Miss Yvonne. How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
Good. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. And congratulations on all the success you've had and that you're having, and congratulations on the season starting for, well, I know it started for you already, but the kickoff tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you having us on the show today. Thank you.
So, guys, tell us a little bit about Harlem Fashion Week this year. What can we expect?
Harlem Fashion Week itself is basically just to having a cultural dimension to fashion with a message. So most of our headline designers usually have a cultural message and inspiration as part of it. We wanted to make sure that our showcases during Harlem Fashion Week were not just simply about just showing clothing, which is phenomenal, but we also wanted to have something that spoke to what was going on in our society. I'm a historian, my daughter's a designer, so we combine those concepts as we create and invite designers to come to the show. And we also wanted to maintain the cultural heritage of Harlem, which is why it's phenomenal this year that we were able to have the Malcolm X Legacy Collection created by the Daughters of Malcolm X to have their premiere at Harlem Fashion Week, because we can't even talk about Harlem without talking about the legacy of Malcolm X.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, I just had a question. I'm sorry, Cassandra. I just had a quick question because I'm always curious about process. After you just start a show and the show ends, do you automatically start up the next season, or do you just take a deep breath for a couple of days or a week and then it starts up again? I'm really curious about that process. Can you talk a little bit about that just for a second?
Yeah, that's a really good question because we've done it different ways every season. Actually, this season we plan on keeping it going right away because there's some things that we're trying to kick off with Harlem Fashion Week. So we're going to take maybe a day, to honestly. We probably won't take a good vacation until February is over because we have 2 more events after Fashion Week on Sunday.
Fashion Week, okay.
We have a business symposium about the business of fashion on the 13th, and we have another event on the 17th. So we won't really rest until the end of February, but we keep it pushing.
I know you do, and I know we just to warn everybody, we're at the 8-minute mark. So I'm sorry, Kass, go ahead. I hate to cut you off, but thank you.
Oh no, it's fine. Just wanted to kind of talk about the show tomorrow. See, you guys have some amazing designers featured alongside of the Malcolm X Legacy Collection. Really wanting to know how you came about selecting those particular designers, Amatula Designs, Nama Isiono, Martina Novato, Mishi Ware, Anna Tico. What made them stand out to you?
Well, it was a big deal for us to select designers who reflected diversity, reflected just innovation, reflected techniques and skills that we felt like would be an asset to our show. So, for example, someone like Amatula, when you guys see her collection tomorrow, you'll be very amazed by the amount of artistry work that her and her husband do. They do a lot of leather, handwork, they do a lot of beading, a lot of embroidery, and they also do a lot of research and embed like just cultural references within their clothing. So that's one of the designers that really stood out to us at the designer casting because it was so much attention to detail, so much attention to concept, and it was very well thought out. Another designer such as Martina, we met with her, and she's Peruvian, and she wanted to reflect her Peruvian culture through her clothing and tell a story. Again, we're very
nice.
Diversity, so we really, really look for those designers who want to bring a fresh taste to the runway.
That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. You guys also have
I'm sorry, Cassandra. I just want to, of course, interrupt again and cut you off. Sorry. But I just want to let them both know is that if you have clothes that fit someone that's 6 foot tall and weighs about 180, don't hesitate to, drop that off. I'm just letting you know. I'm just saying. So.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Sorry, Cassandra. Let me quit playing around.
It's okay. I see that you guys have this theme of the 21st century fashion cultural experience. There has been so much to happen, within the last year and 2 years from a cultural perspective here in the United States and abroad. How do you guys think that your platform, to showcase fall 18 designs, how do you think that speaks to a positive upswing in cultural communication? I mean, because, for example, some of the Malcolm X legacy pieces that I've seen, and Danny, yes, his image is on the designs. I think they're super cool, and for me, they present, the best of who he is. Sometimes people get it confused. Right. They think he was, just being conflictual, but, he was somebody who was, very passionate and zealous about his mission. So how do you think, your platform is contributing to the positive upswing of cultural communication? What do you think your show is going to communicate overall from a cultural perspective in terms of
And let me say that we have a minute left.
Okay.
It's going by fast, sorry.
No problem. 2 things is that we want to make sure that we have the cultural conversation continues, giving a platform for that conversation. That's really important. The fact that we are here sharing with you this afternoon is an example of wanting to bring those type of designs so that this conversation of cultural diversity, cultural inclusion does not get lost. As far as the message of Malcolm X legacy, it's really reigniting his message for the 21st century generation. The goal is not to replicate or duplicate, but the goal is to reignite his message so that the current young people that are able to start having another conversation conversation about what it was that Malcolm X was talking about and be able to bridge the gap between the older generation and the new around our historical figures.
That's fantastic, and I knew this was going to happen, that we have a great conversation with great artisans, directors, influencers, and leaders, and we hit the final few minutes here. Thank you, Kass, for being on the show, and thank you, ladies from Harlem Fashion
Thank you guys
Week,
so much.
and we really look forward to it. Thank you again, and we look forward to having you back. Thank you. Bye-bye.
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 What gives a Happy Meal its smile? Is it the delicious 4-piece chicken McNuggets with no artificial colors or preservatives? The kid-sized fries? The apple slices? Or the low-fat milk? Maybe. But we think what gives a Happy Meal its smile is watching the whole family enjoying a meal. With a McDonald's Happy Meal, everyone enjoys together. Just $3 on the all-new $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The New York Times, Rolling Stone, and critics everywhere are all raving about Annihilation.
It's not destroying, it's making something new.
It's a mind-blowing experience, and now it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Annihilation, rated R, now playing.